Alright guys, it's Adam from ThreatX3 Productions, back with another video. This is actually going to be a little first impressions of COD, my thoughts on it over the first weekend. I've had a good time. There are some negatives though, so there will be some in this video. The gameplay that I see in the background is actually from Gunfight. As you can see, I've actually got to quite a high level, and I think as of time recording, level 32 will probably go up today. But you probably couldn't tell I was at level 32 from some of the first rounds. I was playing awful. We did actually get a good comeback though, so that you'll see that later on in the video. Gunfight is probably one of the most fun I've had with the modes in a while. It is a really refreshing change to Call of Duty. Every time I seem to get annoyed with the game and just think, usually I'd go on different games like Rocket League or GTA, but now I'm thinking, actually I'll just go into Gunfight, chill out for 5 minutes, and now hop back into multiplayer. So I think the way I'm going to lay this video out is do positives and negatives. I'm going to start with the negatives, just get it out of the way. There are some positives, but there are a few negatives as well. The first one I'm going to mention is the map size. I think in general, personally for me, overall, the maps are poor. Obviously, this is first impressions, things can change, they can make adjustments. Obviously, a lot of maps do get added, but personally, at first glance, the maps are quite poor. I think a massive factor is that the map sizes are massive. I mean, if you look at Anya Place, Euphrates Bridge, I've pronounced that wrongly, and Grasna Raid, they are all massive maps, and it just feels like playing Battlefield. Personally, feels like playing Battlefield. There's too many sections in the maps where you're just running and running and running. A massive problem on Euphrates Bridge is when someone gets a good team set up, or you manage to get the first couple of kills in your team, you end up taking about 90% of the map. You take all that possession straight away, so you leave the enemy team with about 10%, which makes it a really boring match because they end up being sat back either in their spawn or in the building at their spawn. So it just becomes really boring to play against. And even if you're the enemy, just obviously being held into that small little zone, it's really boring. So map size, I think, are a massive issue at the moment. Personally, I don't know, they're putting me off the game a little bit. Some maps I love. I mean, I'll speak about some maps I love later, but just at the moment, the map sizes are too big. It doesn't feel like playing COD at all. And because of the style of maps, it's enforcing a style of play from a player that's very sweaty, it's very campy, it's very statutory. There's not a lot of movement, there's no real gunfights happening in the centre. What you end up doing is either being spawn killed or being the spawn killer. The big maps are very annoying to play on. I mean, it's got to a point where when I'm playing my mates, we're actually dropping out of games. We get into the lobby, we see it's the map, and we're dropping out because we just don't want to play those maps. I think it is an issue that a lot of people are having in general. It's just poor map design. Leading on from poor map design, another issue I'm having is very hard to see people on some of these maps. I think the best instance is if you play Piccadilly, it's so hard when someone is crouching behind a vehicle. There's quite a few cars in the center where you can actually mount. Obviously that's a new feature in the game, but when you mount, it's so hard to see their heads, and when they get set up in that position, you can barely kill them because you either have to land them with a headshot or control your recoil so well that you pop the headshot straight away when they're mounted and already have the upper hand. I mean, a lot of time I'm running, I'm taking it slow, like you have to do in this game. It's a very slow game compared to old Call of Duties, and I'm taking it slow. I really struggle to see him sometimes. It's very frustrating to play against. I think another one like that is Azure Cave. I mentioned this when I was obviously doing the video with Nate on our beta impressions. It's so hard to see in the cave, depending on what light, and if you're not already set up and you're the one running into cave and meeting someone that has already got a position, it's so hard to kill them because it takes them, like you're gonna have that when they have the upper hand. It's so hard to kill them, especially with the new mount feature. It's very hard with maps like that. It's very frustrating. That's probably my biggest overall issue with the game at the moment, is map design in general is very poor. There has been a massive outcry from the community. Obviously, with something as substantial as maps, I don't know what Infinity Ward can do to actually fix it. It's a very difficult position to be in, especially I see a lot of pros crying out for change, the general public crying out for change. But on the other hand, you have some people that love it because it suits their type of playstyle to be set up, not camping, but to have the people running onto them. and already have the upper hand. I'll move on to my final negative now. I don't want to make this video too down in the dumps because it is a good game, but there are some glaring negatives, and this is just the biggest one for me, the one that has annoyed me the most. On Team Deathmatch, for some reason, I mean, people have been calling out for customized leaderboards for a while. I don't know why you can't do it, why you can't customize your leaderboards, but for some reason, the default display only shows deaths and assists. It seems ridiculous to me. The whole point of Team Deathmatch is to see your deaths, and obviously to win the game, you need to be getting more kills and deaths. I think it should be showing KD, assists, kills, and deaths. That is so simple to me. I do not understand why it only shows kills and assists and it doesn't show deaths. It really doesn't make sense. And on the flip side, on domination, it doesn't show you captures. It doesn't show you defends and attacking kills. All it shows is your deaths. You can actually see, well, not your KD, but your kills and deaths on domination. It's very confusing. I don't know why they've done this. They should just either make so that you can customize your actual leaderboard as such, or change it overall, because it does not make sense to me. It's bugging me every time I see it, because I go to look at my deaths and think, how well am I doing this game? I don't know. It's got to a point where I'm actually having to add up my deaths myself. It seems absolutely ridiculous. Alright, so now that I've had my little rant over about the kill leaderboard, I'm going to move on to some pros. And in general, this is a good game. I enjoy playing this game. Like I said, the maps is the only thing really that puts me off about the gameplay of this game. Apart from that, to actually kill someone is so satisfying. The weapon balance and the look of the feel of the game feels so right, as in terms of when you run, when you slide, everything feels so smooth. It doesn't feel clunky. A lot of times I was watching gameplay, I thought, ooh, that looks very clunky to me, the way the guns feel, but it's very smooth, it's very fun to play, and when you get kills, it's very satisfying. I think the most satisfying thing actually is when you get a kill with a pistol. It seems ridiculous, but when you actually kill someone with a pistol, the way the gun feels, it's truly incredible. And now I want to talk about some good maps, because obviously I've had a little bit of a rant slating off some bad maps, but I gotta say one of my favourite maps, to be fair, in a long time is Ramazar. It's a good map layout. It's got highs and lows. It's got little in caves and places to go. Yes, you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for a lot of people, because there's a lot of places where you can run out from. But the actual design layout of the map is so fun to play on. Another one is Gunrunner. I mean, I'm not saying by any chance these are going to be Modern Warfare classic maps like Rust, but they are very fun to play on. I think another aspect of why I'm having so much fun in the game is actually the customization, and the level of options which you can get per gun is mental. I have been running a lot of times a shotgun system in Team Deathmatch or Dom, and it's strange to me. I'm usually a player joysticks to assault rifles, but I've been using the 337, and that shotgun is so fun to play with. I mean, you can get up to level 54 in the weapons for the shotgun, and there's just so much customization to what you can do. And it's also about the trade-offs. Obviously, you only get to pick 5 attachments per gun, but it's the trade-offs of actually, do you want more aim down sight speed but for less stabilization? Those trade-offs make it really fun on trying to find out an actual class setup that works for you, and it makes the game feel unique, because whenever I've picked up someone else's weapon, they're not running anywhere near the same loadout as me, because obviously there's so much customization. We're all trying to make the best class setups for us. So I think that about wraps up the video. I've listed some negatives and some positives. I do enjoy the game. It's definitely worth trying out if you do get a chance to play the game. If you're not a COD fan, then obviously wait till Christmas, wait till the sales. But it is a very fun game to play. So I think that's it from me, guys and gals. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Check out all the links in the description. We've actually got a new podcast coming out. It's with Nick and his wife, and they discuss all the movies on Disney Plus, the new streaming service. It's a great listen if you have any interest in Disney. Or to be fair, I'm not a massive Disney fan. I'll listen to it. It is a really good listen. I'm going to leave a couple of links in the description for our social medias. Make sure to check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And if you want to share your thoughts on the game, make sure to join our Discord. I'll leave a link in the description. So this has been Adam from 30x3 Productions. Thanks for watching.